Hey guys, and welcome to Live Russian Learning Tips. Today I'm gonna be talking about Anki. If you know about it, that's nice. If you don't, today you will learn about this tool for learning languages. Well, Anki is basically old good flashcards, but it's digital and it has a system of organizing the revising, the repetition of the words you already learned. That's why it's really useful for learners that tend to forget, to not revise, and who are just sometimes lazy, maybe. Let's look into it right now, and I'm excited about giving you my tips for using Anki for your language learning. Let's get started! My advice about Anki is creating your own decks, because one of the disadvantages of digital flashcards that you are not creating them yourself, so you memorize words. But if you do create them yourself, you will memorize the things you create easier, plus it will be personal, because imagine you are interested in certain words or in certain topics and you don't find decks, already prepared decks, that would have just what you need. So it's better to create them yourself. Also, you can use your own approaches to learning. For example, I would recommend you to not create decks with separated words, because it serves nothing. Knowing a bunch of words wouldn't help you communicate. Our purpose is communicating, right? So let's create decks with phrases, with whole sentences that are used in a language. So I would recommend you to create decks with phrases, and also I would recommend you to create so-called thematical decks. Let's say you mix up words. Let's say you mix up words красный and красивый. So make a deck about these two words where you come up with sentences. If you don't manage to come up with examples, just go to reverse context dictionary, type the word красный or красивый, and you will see a bunch of examples. So just write them down, put them into your deck, and learn, practice, memorize, and revise. I have to admit that Anki is not perfect. It took me 1 hour to install all this thing, because there is online version, but if you want to create your own decks, you need a version on your computer. And it took me some time to get aligned these two versions, to understand how it works. I watched a few tutorials, and now I managed to use Anki. I recommend it to my students, and sometimes I create my decks. Also, for example, you can look into my deck about two confusing words не and нет, and you can practice. By the way, in Anki, you can not just create flashcard decks, but also you can make exercises like fill in gaps and so on. And you can also put settings to personalize your revising rhythm. So I hope that it was helpful for you, and if you would want me to create more decks, especially for my playlist Live Russian Battles, where I compare two similar words, two confusing words, if you would want me to create decks for this playlist, I would gladly do it. Just write it in the comments what kind of decks you would like me to create, and we'll meet each other in Live Russian Learning Tips. See you!